welcome, Tammi, my dear friend and cannabis mentor and knower of all things growing plants-ish. I'm so happy to chat with you for a few minutes. I wanted to bring you on because I've been getting a lot of questions about your course that's coming up, Grow. It's coming up really soon, right? It starts this month, right? This coming month, April.
Yep. We'll have our first.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions. And one of the questions comes from me, not from a reader, but that is, I was wondering if you could do a little myth busting for us, because I've found that there are a lot of ideas floating around about hemp, cannabis, growing, using. And I was wondering what maybe your top 3 myths that you would like to bust are.
Okay, great. Yes. So the first one is it's all cannabis. So if you were to grow a hemp plant and a high THC cannabis plant, I just call it high CBD or high THC. If you grew them right next to each other, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They would both smell lovely. They would both be sticky. And they could, if there was a male and a female, they could have sex with each other. So it's all the same species. There are different subspecies, but it's all cannabis. It is federally illegal to grow high THC cannabis in all 50 states. And then the feds have said, well, we're not going to prosecute, but you should know that. And then the states have said, well, F you, we're going to have our own laws. So individual states have started to roll out their own laws about it. So New York, for example, on Saturday just passed that they're going to now implement people being able to grow 3 plants. But anyway, so that's myth number 1. Myth number 2.
Okay, just to clarify, if you gave me a plant and I put it in my backyard, I wouldn't be able to tell if it was high in CBD or THC or equal. Yeah, I wouldn't know. You'd have to I'd have to send it out for testing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2, that growing is really hard. It's really too complicated for the mere mortal. If you can grow tomatoes, you can grow cannabis. You know, if you want the beautiful bud porn giant flower, there are some tricks, but if you're growing for medicine, if you can grow a tomato, if you can grow nettles, you can grow cannabis. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, that medicine making is difficult and it's something other than what an herbalist would do. That's a myth too. Anybody can make medicine and should be making medicine.
Yeah. So tell me more about should be. What do you think about that?
Yes.
I know that's a big reason why you created this course.
Yeah. Because, well, before it was, and now, right, it's illegal to grow and make your own medicine. And now what we're going to see the trend happen is it might not be illegal, but the big business is going to take over. Like right now, big business can't actually move in and do what they really want to do because it's still federally illegal. So they can't get the loans that they want to get, for example. So, or have bank accounts the way they want to. But once that federally legalizes, it's going to change the game completely. So there's that. And the way I like to describe it is that as an herbalist, we know that the best medicine is medicine we make ourselves, or somebody that we know who loves their plants will make good medicine, as compared to mass marketed, big industrial. So it's the same thing with cannabis. If you grow your own plants, like last year in the grow course, it was my favorite course because everybody took pictures and they named their plants. There's a difference that you can palpably feel in plants that people grow and love themselves and then make medicine with. And it's different. And so that's my whole goal, is to just like everybody in their garden with calendula and lemon balm, they've got a cannabis plant, whether it be high THC or high CBD, and they make medicine, and it's not hard.
So you're
And
really,
it should be in our hands.
yeah, you're really on a mission of like self-empowerment.
Yes.
Not just with cannabis, but other plants too, other medicines.
Exactly.
Too. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like it belongs in our hands.
I love that. All right. So if I'm thinking about taking your course and I want to, like, I'm really excited to grow some cannabis in my yard, but I don't know if I'm going to get into trouble for it. Like, is it legal? And how do I figure that out? Great.
The easiest, like, first step is to go to Normal, NORML. You go to their website, and it's a quick, you could Google it, but you could Google what's legal in my state, but Normal will list high THC states. Your Department of Ag will let you know, like you can find out pretty quickly what the law is in your state, whether you can grow high THC. A lot of states, it's, 6 plants is usually the average of high THC. Then you can also find out about hemp. Hemp is not federally illegal. So there's just something to throw out there. So that would be the place to go, is to find out there's only 3 states. I think it's Mississippi, North Dakota, and I can't think of the third one, that hemp is still illegal. So that you need to find that out and make that decision. And, I can't tell you what to do, and the other thing besides legality to consider, or along with legality, is this plant really smells. And it's very innocent when it's this big or even giant, but not flowering. But late in, like in August, you've invested all this emotional energy and physical energy into this plant. And come August, she is going to smell, and people around are going to smell her. So
come over.
You may have thought you found a really nice secret place in the sun that you couldn't see, but smelling's another situation. And so along with that is the legality is security. People steal plants, which I think you'd have a special place in hell for those people. But people will still, and people who are stealing plants don't know the difference either. They smell something amazing, and it could be your hemp plant, but they're going to take it. So
just in case. All right. In 1 minute or less before we wrap up, could you just give the highlights of what somebody's going to learn from your grow course?
Sure. The great thing is they're going to go from getting their seeds, high CBD seeds, and learn how to germinate them, how to transplant them, and then help make decisions whether they're going in a pot or they're going in the ground, all the way through pruning, like how to increase airflow and increase flower production. We'll talk about pests, and then we'll talk about harvesting, drying, basically from seed to your gallon jar or your Rubbermaid container of dried flowers. And the awesome thing about it is that there's a mighty network that is basically a private Facebook group that you have access to me every day. I check it so that
you have a great
if a
community
problem,
that's like sharing, asking questions.
And it's asking questions, posting pictures, and then you become a resource for each other as well. But also you get access to me. Whereas if on day you're like, oh my God, this is what's happening with my plant, I can actually help you that day, which is really
super valuable.
And then I think
completely transforms the value of your program.
Exactly. And then I have to educate people at the end. I'm like, okay, friends, now it's over, and I won't be checking every day.
Sad for everybody.
Yeah.
And you do have a companion course about making medicine. Is that true?
Yeah. And I just time it.
Comes in the fall.
Yep. So you had made
a preview.
Yes. You've grown your flowers. Now what do you do with it?
Yeah, brilliant. All right, friends. So let's stay in touch. I really actually want to have a real conversation, girlfriend to girlfriend sometime, but thank
Yes.
you for
Yes.
making space in your busy schedule to chat with us.
Yay.
Love ya.
Love you too.
Bye.